Welcome back to Crypto Spaces, back with another Monad update for you guys. Monad sitting just under 22 cents. We were climbing up yesterday. I was so happy to see it. Then all of a sudden we started to come back. I was like, no, break out, please, Monad, break out. But that's you know how crypto is, man. You have to be patient, man. This game, this market, especially this year, has been my worst year in this market, man. Just completely missing great trades, missing great setups, altcoins. But for 2026, I'm gonna do my best to do much better, right? This is where my thesis for Monad comes from. Everybody on the crypto Twitter and the timeline do not like Monad. They don't like it. But I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do the opposite of what everybody else on the timeline thinks of the project. I'm gonna be buying me some Monad, right? And then the more I looked into it, the more I did my research on the team. And, I've used the network itself. I've traded coins on it. I've realized, this has massive potential. So I'm going to stick with my thesis on that. Like I said, guys, I think a potential price target is $1 to $3 for Monad using circulating supply. That's going to put it at around 30 bill market cap in circulating supply. And I think that's very possible, right? Circulating market cap, 30 billion. That's a 100x move, right? I think that's very possible, right? So sitting at 237 million market cap, 142 in volume, up 79% in volume. Monad is trying to break out, man. It really is. I think January is going to be great for Monad. I really do think that's going to be the case. And the rest of the year, right? I think just getting above the ICO price is really that first resistance that we have to look out for, the Coinbase ICO. But once we break past that, I think it's gonna be, it's gonna be the start of something massive, right? So again, Monad looking great. People are DCing into Monad, leverage traders. Crypto Audi King, $1, $5, or $10 realistic targets for Monad. Different updates. You love to see it, man. So the transition, once again, diving into the ecosystem. We're back with the Moncock update. Anytime I say that, man, it's bad. It's bad. Moncock, it's bad. But Moncock was up like 70% from 228k market cap. Started to cover it on the channel at 200k market cap. So if people already took initials, took profits, just to de-risk, I respect it. Be strategic, man. Be strategic. So it made a pop-up yesterday when Monad, let me go to on-chain Monad. Monad on-chain made a nice move from this, when it dropped to 2 cents. It went up 17%. And then Moncock went up like 72% from the low, right? 60 to 70%. So I'm looking at that impulse, right? Look, almost 100%. If you bought the exact bottom, that would have been 100% move. So I'm looking at that impulse that Moncock had, and I'm thinking to myself, well, if that's the case, no other meme on Monad really made that move up like that. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if that's the case, that means when Monad goes absolutely parabolic, we could see Moncock be one of the memes that does go absolutely parabolic as well. Right now, it's just $375 to buy a million Moncock. I think that's all you need, guys. Don't go overboard. Never invest more than you're willing to lose, right? Don't be tossing 5k into Moncock to get 1% of the supply, and then something happens and then you lose 5k, okay? Losing $375, not as bad. It's still, steep for a lot of people, I would bet, but it's not like gonna make you go into debt. At least I don't think that's the case, right? So manage your risk, guys. I think Moncock is gonna go absolutely ballistic, especially from that recent price action with Monad, just going up 16%. Moncock went up 100%. Now Monad pulling back a bit, so clearly Moncock pulls back as well. So this is like leverage Monad right here with Moncock, right? You don't want to use leverage to get liquidated. You buy some Moncock, Monad goes up 10x. More than likely Moncock goes up 50, maybe even 100x, right? That's pretty, 100x from here would put it at 40 mil market cap. and that is very possible. Just saw a Solana meme go from 1 million market cap in a month, and it's now sitting at 72 million market cap, right? So these are the type of moves that are possible in the ecosystem. This is why you play around in the ecosystem. You keep majority of your bag in Monad, you know, because you don't want to miss that safe trade. But then you take on a little bit more risk to accumulate more Monad. Because guess what? You get you get 100x on Moncock, if not 1,000x. Guess what you could do with it? You take a ton of profits and put that into buying more Monad for when Monad goes even higher, right? That's what people did for Solana. So it's the same thesis here. And they did the same thing for SWI as well. But SWI it wasn't as powerful as what we saw with Solana. I think Monad will be as powerful as what we saw with Solana though, right? So as always, none of this is financial advice, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Like and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one.